Hi, welcome to episode 1 of Chowdown with Kenzie, and we're going to be reviewing St. Louis businesses and restaurants. A lot of St. Louis residents and locals do support St. Louis small businesses and restaurants due to the fact that if that certain atmosphere, that certain affection that big businesses do not have, and they also have that mindset that if you're going to support someone, you would much rather support the person like your neighbor in their business or the person around the corner than like big businesses like Walmart, because you do know that they can help and impact your community firsthand. But that does not show. Not only does the local residents help St. Louis small businesses, but also the city of St. Louis. The city of St. Louis is launching a grant program to help small businesses recover from that pandemic. The program is basically giving out at most $5,000 to as 900 St. Louis-based restaurants. It is on a first-come, first-served basis, but it's paid for by federal stimulus money that was through the pandemic. So the first restaurant we're going to be talking about is called Pieces Board Game and Restaurant Bar. It's a restaurant, but also you can play board games, and in the name, it's a bar too. There is over 1,000 board games that you can play, and they also make it affordable because it's only a $5 library fee per person, but every item you buy off that menu does take $1 off that library fee. So example, if you buy like 3 beers and a pretzel, that takes $4 off that library fee, so it's going to be $1. And the Pieces game library is valued at about $27,000. They spend 100% of those fees, that library fee, collected on repairing their games or getting new games. But we're just going to be talking about like their menu items and their food and the games and the atmosphere of the whole place. As far as the food, almost every item can be vegan and vegetarian. It is nut-free, most of the items except a couple of pastries. They do have a pastry chef come in and make like the cinnamon rolls, cookies, and muffins that you can see doing French. My favorite item of all the pastries are probably going to be the cinnamon roll. And then during like the menu, they do have a giant pretzel that I know it's giant, but I didn't think it was going to be that big. They also do have a fried rice bowl. It's pretty good. You can have different add-ons such as like extra broccoli, extra edamame, and you can pick your protein. They do also have like Caesar salads, breakfast burritos, breakfast bowls, such as a TX bowl. It's breakfast potatoes, eggs, gravy, caramelized onions, and like you pick your protein. Food can be big, but they do have like pulled pork sliders, and then it's like pulled soy chorizo sliders. The pulled pork sliders is really good because it's topped with like fried onions. Barbecue sauce is made in-house, but also a lot of stuff is necessarily like finger food, so you can't really get it on the games floor because they do prioritize games in between. So each like table has a clean set of games. The games are organized. They're in a good organization system. So like easy games are in green, medium are in yellow, hardest games are in red. They're A to Z, left to right. And then they also have like family games, kid games. I was really surprised with kid games because I didn't think they had that much of a collection. And they even have like 2-player games that you can just play with you and your date. The next restaurant we're going to be talking about is probably going to be Lona Little Eats, in my experience with it. It's like a giant rice paper burrito with like Asian cuisine, Japanese cuisine, soul food cuisine, and like they combine everything together, but they somehow make it work. Even like they make a whole lot of dumplings, but I didn't think the burrito was going to be that big. If you do use giant rice paper, don't let them sit it into the water too long because it does, and it can get chewy if they let it sit too long. But the dumplings were probably my favorite part, and the noodles were super good. They also do have a smaller version, so you can use like an actual tortilla, and they do make fresh spring rolls. They're smaller, not as big as the burrito though. Alright guys, that wraps up today's episode. Next week, tune back in for episode 2 of major well-known St. Louis restaurants and businesses.